Chugging along, chugging along. Well, sorta. After my last review, I needed to take a nap. So, I didn't get to do the next one as early as I thought I would. And I just had to wake up and I had to make supper. And anyway, welcome back to Tubi 80's Horror Weekend. We are talking about the New Kids. And, so I'd heard about this from Drum Dums quite a few years ago now. About what is this? They released one of those retro VHS slipcover Blu-rays of this, which must be out of print because I can't find it like for a decent price. All those, you go on there, they're like $15 or so. Not bad for those. I want to try collecting more of them, but this one for some reason is more expensive. I found one for $25 plus shipping. To those on eBay, why can't you just charge for the item? Why do you have to add shipping onto it? Are you that fucking cheap? But I understand. You kind of want us to pay for it. It's for us to get it. But on the other hand, I don't know. eBay already puts tax on stuff. And then you're adding the shipping. It's like, it's extra money you got to spend. But anyway. The New Kids tells the story of two teenagers who are thrust into a new world after their parents die. And I was almost ready to shut off the movie after the opening of this because good don't do that to Tom Atkins. But I stayed watching it. And they moved to Florida with their Uncle Pa Kent. From Lois and Clark. Yeah, it is Eddie Jones who played Pa Kent on that show. Because on that show, Pa Kent didn't die. Or at least, in continuity eventually he did, I guess. But not on the show he did. But and they come afoul of James Spader and his group of ruffians. All over a bet that the James Spader and his friends made over who's gonna fuck Lori Loughlin first. Spoiler alert, none of them do. She's got a thing for Eric Stoltz, and I didn't even know it was Eric Stoltz until I looked at the Wikipedia page and I went, wait, that's out of the list. Like Eric Stoltz. Eric Stoltz isn't in this. Who is he? And I looked at Mark. That's Eric Stoltz? So differently. And, yeah, the movie has an ending, which is kind of interesting. I'm like, it's left open for a sequel. And after I saw who directed this, I'm like, of course he left it open for a sequel. It's Sean S. Cunningham. Of course he's trying to find the next Friday the 13th, because they took it away from him by this point. He was still producing it, wasn't it? He wanted another Friday the 13th, right? He thought, hey, 1985, they killed off Jason. Even though they're going to bring him back. Let's start something new. I don't know if I would have liked the way they were going to go. It would have been interesting, but I don't know. So we start off, military father, Tom Atkins, and they showed up. And I went, Tom motherfucking Atkins. And I was excited for this movie. And you see him waking them up. They have a little montage. And then they say, the parents are going on a trip, and the next thing you know, the cops are showing up saying, your parents have died. And I went, no, you do not waste Tom Atkins on a cameo like that. Tom Atkins died in Lethal Weapon, but at least he was used a little bit better in that movie. He was a part of the plot, because his daughter was the hooker the drug addict that plummeted off the building. Here, it's just like, I don't know. You have forsaken Tom Atkins in your movie, Sean Cunningham. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? But no. So then at the funeral, their Uncle Eddie and I went, or their Uncle Charlie. Actor is Eddie. Jones. I'm like, that Pa Kent from Lois and Clark. I can't think of the character's name. I just call him Pa Kent. Jonathan. It's Jonathan Kent, but Pa Kent. Because when I think Jonathan Kent, I think John Schneider. So Pa Kent, you know. I'm thirsty. Hold on. Excuse me. So now they're going to move down to Florida and live there. And when they get there, they meet some new friends. There's Mark, who's very nice. There's Lauren and Abby. Lauren is the boy, the guy, and then Abby is Lori Loughlin's character in this. And so she meets Mark, who I told you is Eric Stoltz, and I didn't realize that until I looked at the credits, and it was already ending the movie. And Mark sort of just disappears. He's not a very good boyfriend. And the only thing I could think of, this came out in 1985. I think that he was also filming his part for Back to the Future when they were filming this. So, he'd be dropped. He filmed one third of Back to the Future. He's actually still in the movie, by the way. I think I mentioned this. The scene where Marty punches Biff, the fist that hits Biff, is Eric Stoltz. Tom Wilson even confirmed it. But anyway, I think he was also filming that at the same time, which is why he just sort of disappears when it's time for the climax. Like, they don't even ride him out. He's just gone. And at the end of the movie, they're like, oh, Mark's on his way. Or Mark's going to meet us there. And I'm like, he just disappeared. And then I know that it's Eric Stoltz, because I was reading a Wikipedia article, too. I'll spoil myself. I don't care. I'm like, what the hell happened to Mark? He just disappears. And then now I know it's Eric Stoltz. Ah, wait a minute. I'm doing the Jeff Goldblum. You know, yes, yes. But yeah. She meets Mark, and there's something going on there. But then we get Ultra, what the hell's his name? I don't know, James Spader. Who's like the local, he's not a drug dealer, he's on drugs. Because of course, the bad characters in the 80s movie have to be on drugs. And he and his group, and they seem to have an affliction, or an affection, is the word, for Lori Loughlin. So they make a bet, and 3 of them ask her out. She wants nothing to do with it, and it causes problems because of this. One scene that frustrated me, okay, because they attacked us. So before I get into that, the Uncle Charlie, has this amusement park that's not doing so well because it's called Santaland, and he runs it all year round. I can't imagine the winter. Well, it's Florida, so I guess Florida doesn't get much snow. Apparently, it gets some, but not much. So I guess it would work. But why would you run a Santaland? And if you're having problems, rename it. But at one point, they, the ruffians, as you call them, break in, trash the place, and, oh. But what get me is they have this car, which they're really going to deal to. Oh, it's a caddy. It's 1960. All the cars back then were classics. And I'm like, so something's happening in that car, right? And they do. They key it. But then the cop confronts them. And like, oh, somebody did something bad to this car. And if I was Lauren, I'd be like, yeah, they did it. Put their asses in jail. But he's like, oh, no, I don't know. I didn't see who did it. Why doesn't he say something? Only thing I think of is that if he does, they go to jail and the movie wouldn't happen. But, the only problem I have is that this is not very realistic to me. Even for movies around this time, where the whole thing is that you stand up to bullies in movies. And, the whole thing has always been you stand up to bullies. You show them you're not afraid and they'll back down. But this movie says if you keep doing that, it's just going to escalate and escalate and escalate. It gets to the point by the climax that things just go nuts. I mean, yeah, because they keep, like, it's like a battle. Like, when they have to bring that car back to your uncle, and he's like, my car! Because that's his caddy, his car, his baby. People at the hotel doing shit. I got one window open. I wanted some fresh air today, But, so, yeah. And then, Lauren starts hooking up with the sheriff's daughter. So that's pretty cool. It's confusing because it's like there's this one girl that checks him out. Like, oh, you think I should talk to her? But then he just go. I know it's the same girl and I missed it. But he ends up with the sheriff's daughter. He gets into it with Jim Spader a lot. There's a whole. I don't. Guy's trying to protect his sister. I understand. I can think from that. I can understand from that perspective. But, yeah. So I'm watching this, and all this stuff was going on. I'm like, where is the horror here? And I look it up, horror thriller. And as I'm watching, I'm like, this is more thriller than anything. It's not like, I don't know. I don't know what I expected. Like the new kids are alien creatures or some shit. They're the new kids, and they're new to Florida. So it gets to a point that they want to call their dad's friend in the military and get out of there. But then it culminates in this showdown at the amusement park where people just be dying. Like, these two put them through the ringer. People are, I think there's like a beheading. Someone gets their head cut off. Someone's smooshed by something else. It's gnarly. You gotta watch this scene. But the biggest thing is that, like, James Spader goes after Abby. But I don't know what happened to the sheriff's daughter at this point. I think she's kind of hurt or something. Well, Mark's disappeared. He's busy filming Back to the Future. So he comes after Lauren, and he gets to the gas station. By the way, this is one of the most ridiculous things, but I guess it would work. It's a gas station right next to an amusement park. I guess it would work if you drove there and you need some gas to get home, I guess. But, like, James Spader grabs the gas pump. Does he put money in the gas pump? Because you gotta put money in the gas pump to activate it, don't you? Maybe back then you didn't. Old school and all that. But he makes a flamethrower out of the gas, which wouldn't work. Because it's liquid. And I get it's flammable. It's fully flammable. But it would explode! Because it's attached to a pump filled with gasoline. So you light it, the whole thing will go down the tube and blow up the gas pump. It wouldn't shoot out a flamethrower. It would blow up the fucking gas pump. That is the most unrealistic thing in this movie. Is that he's able to use it as a flamethrower. That's not how it works. Because it is the fumes of the gas. So like that, but it would also travel down the gas itself and cause the whole pump to blow up. Right? Right? Tell me I'm not crazy. But no, he uses a flamethrower, and he's trying to use it on Abby, but then Lauren comes in to save the day and flips it on James Spader, setting him on fucking fire. The fuck was that? You know that? Setting him on fucking fire. Right? And that's the end of James Spader. Then we have this. That is a motorcycle on the highway. Yes. Anyway, in case you didn't know. So, moving into sort of an epilogue, where we get them talking to their aunt and uncle. Because of what happened, Uncle is benefiting off the massacre at the amusement park. I'll show you all the massacre where all the deaths happened. A big old tour of how it happened. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Okay, and how, if this is well known, I don't understand how those two, especially Lauren, is not sitting in a jail cell right now for murder. I don't know. Maybe Florida has better self-defense laws than Minnesota, because you wouldn't get that far here. Oh, it was self-defense. I set him on fire. Yeah, you're still going to jail. It's still murder. I don't know how Florida works, but I don't know. He murdered all of them. That's like, what, 5 people? The sheriff's daughter shows up and says, "Oh, where's Mark? Mark's gonna meet us there." And so that then here, with his girlfriend there, Charlie's like, "Oh, you're your dad's friend." He called us because we gotta call back to that because he called him. He says if you want to live with them, you can. And he's like, "No, we're fine here." And then Laughlin's like, "Yeah, this is home." Okay. And as they get in he's like, "Oh, you take the caddy. I'm gonna get a Maserati." And so they drive off. And earlier in the film, one of James Spader's subordinates had a little brother. I think his name was Joe Bob. Not Joe Bob Briggs, but Joe Bob had a little brother. And we just pan to the little brother all pissed off of what happened. This is Sean S. Cunningham finding a way to try to do a sequel. Didn't happen, though. I don't know how the box office was, but it didn't happen. But, yeah, I'm like, what kind of ending is that? And then when I looked it up, Sean S. Cunningham, I'm like, oh. Okay, now I know why. He was trying to get another franchise. He was trying to do more, like Friday the 13th. Yeah, he's trying to do that. Didn't work. I don't know how it would have worked unless a bunch of little kids coming after him. But that's even less believable than these teenagers doing it. The only thing I can think of to do a sequel is not that. Or wait till like the 90s. Do 10 years. Right? Wait 10 years and do another one where new kids come to Florida, right? And you have them being confronted by Joe Bob's brother and a new gang coming after them. So it's like 10 years later or so. And Lori Loughlin can now be like in charge of the gas station or something. I'm sure she'd be the one to come back. What was her career in 1995? Full House. That's right, Full House. I don't know. Full House. I don't know. I'm gonna pretend good. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was different. It was paced. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the new kids? I'm gonna comment something. Should like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.